I'm a dad that's not to be bleeped with. That's what the 31-year-old wrote on Instagram. The post was liked by wife Hailey.
Justin Bieber just posted one sentence that has everyone talking. No smile, no filter, just raw emotion and a warning. I'm a dad that's not to be effed with. But what happened behind the scenes that pushed him to say that? And why did things spiral so fast after? Keep watching, because the truth behind this message might not be what you think. Number 1. The cryptic Father's Day declaration. On June 16, 2025, Father's Day, Justin Bieber didn't post a photo of his dad. He didn't post a picture of his daughter. He didn't even post a celebration. Instead, what showed up on his Instagram story was a moody black and white selfie and a caption that stopped people cold. The message read, "I'm a dad that's not to be effed with."
Not only did Hailey not post a social media tribute to her husband, but instead, she reacted to the singer's black and white post.
That was it. No explanation. No names. Just a middle finger emoji and a look in his eyes that felt more like a warning than a celebration.
By commenting, "Father's Day sucks ass."
And suddenly, the internet was split into two camps. Those who saw it as strength, and those who saw it as a cry for help. Because this wasn't just any celebrity post. It was timed. It was sharp. It was emotional. And it was loaded with questions no one could immediately answer. Was this a response to something personal? Was it aimed at the media? A friend? Hailey? The timing made it even stranger. Hours earlier, there were no signs of stress. No cryptic buildup. Just silence, then this. And this isn't the first time Justin has sent out mixed signals online. Fans know the pattern by now. One moment, he's calm and inspirational, posting about faith, healing, or music. The next, he's unfiltered, intense, and visibly frustrated.
It's an emotional time in my life for sure. I think it just shows how much I care.
But this time, something felt different. The word dad stood out the most, because Justin has no public children. So why use that word, so pointedly, so emotionally, on the very day dedicated to fathers? Some fans believe it's symbolic, a way of saying he's stepping into a more protective, more grounded version of himself. Others speculate that maybe, just maybe, there's more going on behind the scenes than we know. Because paired with the look in his eyes, that phrase wasn't just confidence. It was confrontation, as if someone had pushed him too far, as if he had something to defend, or someone. And here's where the mystery deepens.
Justin Bieber could be placed in a conservatorship by Hailey if she can prove 3 points to court amid his bizarre behavior.
Just hours after that post, his stories took a sharp turn, from emotional intensity to lavish flexing. A $38,000 luxury watch, designer bags, a laptop, expensive gifts that felt less like celebration and more like compensation. So what changed? Who was the message really for? And why now? We're just getting started. Because the next thing he posted didn't bring clarity. It made things even stranger. Number 2, the luxury gifts that raised eyebrows. Not long after Justin Bieber's cryptic Father's Day post, his Instagram story took an unexpected turn. The tone shifted from emotional and confrontational to unapologetically extravagant. Almost jarringly so.
You are not on the sidewalk. Get on the sidewalk. Get on the sidewalk.
Stop asking me how it's going.
First, a luxury Audemars Piguet Royal Oak watch, retailing at around $38,000, flashed across the screen. Sleek, silver, unmistakably rare. Then came a Prada backpack. Then an Apple laptop. A cascade of high-ticket items in rapid-fire succession, each image more pristine and curated than the last. At first glance, it looked like a celebration. Maybe he was being spoiled. Maybe he was just feeling grateful. But coming directly after that raw, aggressive statement, "I'm a dad that's not to be effed with," it didn't quite land the way fans expected. Because instead of resolving the tension, it added another layer. Why show us this now? Was this how he coped, by surrounding himself with symbols of control and value? Was it an indirect jab at someone, showing them what they were missing? Or was it a distraction? A deflection from something brewing, just beneath the surface? There's a long-standing celebrity pattern here. Public figures often mask emotional chaos with material calm. It's easier to post a watch than a therapy session. Easier to show wealth than to show pain. But fans who followed Justin through the years noticed something off. This wasn't his usual vibe. He's never shied away from being vulnerable about his faith, his anxiety, his past mistakes. So why now, of all days, wrap pain in luxury? Some fans theorized the gifts weren't even for him. What if he gave them to someone else? What if this was his version of making peace after a conflict? Others believe he was trying to regain control, by reminding the world he's still on top, still successful, still powerful. But if this was about power, it came with a hint of desperation. Because the posts weren't joyful. They weren't celebratory. They were cold, clean, distant. like someone trying to prove something, not to others, but to themselves. It left a trail of emotional whiplash. From anger to opulence, pride to pressure. And with no context, fans were left piecing it together like a puzzle he never finished. But the most telling clue wasn't what he posted next. It was what happened in public, when the cameras weren't controlled and the mask slipped. Because the next moment didn't happen online, it happened in Malibu. And it was loud. Number 3, the Malibu meltdown no one was ready for. It was supposed to be a simple night out, just another celebrity sighting in Malibu. But what unfolded outside Soho House was anything but routine. Cameras were rolling, voices were raised. And Justin Bieber? He was done playing nice. In a now viral 11-minute video, Justin is seen exiting the exclusive club, face hidden under a hoodie, surrounded by flashing cameras. He pauses, looks up, and then snaps. "Get out of my effing face." His voice sharp, loud, and unmistakably shaken. This wasn't just a celebrity annoyed by paparazzi. This was something heavier. He then muttered something even more striking. "I'm a real man with a real family." Those 8 words hit differently. They weren't just offensive, they were personal. And they raised the question, who exactly was he trying to convince? The crowd? The cameras? Or himself? Because what came next wasn't just a celebrity tantrum. It was emotional unraveling. He kept pacing, gesturing, and repeating himself, clearly caught between fury and frustration. And all of it, in public, with no PR filter. Observers said it felt raw. Others said it felt rehearsed. But no one could deny it felt real. And here's where it gets stranger. Why did he go to Soho House that night in the first place? A private, members-only club, typically known for calm discretion, not public drama. Was this an ambush? Did someone tip off the press? Or did he want to be seen? Some fans believe this was intentional. A way to shift the story, steering attention away from his cryptic post and luxury flex. Make headlines for something else. Control the chaos by becoming the chaos. But others aren't so sure. The way he moved, the tone in his voice, the heat behind the words. It didn't feel like someone acting. It felt like someone spiraling. And yet, even in that moment, he held back just enough. He didn't throw punches. He didn't storm off. He stayed. He argued. He lingered. As if he wanted to be heard, but not misunderstood. So what triggered the outburst? Who was he protecting when he said real family? And was this the breaking point, or just the beginning? The answer might lie in what happened next. Not in public, not in the spotlight, but in the privacy of his phone, through one chilling message that ended a friendship. Number 4, the confession heard around the internet. Just when the Malibu footage started to fade from headlines, Justin dropped another emotional curveball. One that didn't come through paparazzi lenses or a moody Instagram story, but straight from his own words. "I know I'm broken. I know I have anger issues." That sentence, quiet, heavy, and deeply personal, came from a candid post he made on his private fan channel. No edits, no fluff, just an artist admitting the one thing celebrities rarely say out loud. "I'm not okay." For years, Justin's fans have watched him grow up under pressure. From the boy-next-door heartthrob to the global icon, to the man constantly fighting to reclaim his identity. But this was different. This wasn't a carefully worded PR statement. This was stripped down, vulnerable, honest, and honestly, kind of heartbreaking. He didn't blame anyone. He didn't ask for pity. He just laid it out raw. And in doing so, he opened a door no one expected him to walk through. Because when someone at his level of fame admits to being broken, it invites 100 questions, and even more speculation. Was this a delayed reaction to the Father's Day tension? A response to the Malibu incident? Or had these feelings been building for longer than anyone realized? The timing made it all the more chilling. Because just days earlier, he'd seemed loud, almost performative, angry in a way that felt external. But now we see what was going on underneath. The quiet kind of pain. The kind that doesn't always shout. Fans flooded the comments with love and support. Some even shared their own stories, saying his vulnerability gave them the courage to be honest about their own struggles. But others weren't so sure. Some started connecting dots, wondering if this was tied to a deeper internal battle, something beyond fame fatigue. A few pointed to past behavior, sudden social media breaks, and behind-the-scenes rumors that he was isolating himself more than usual. And when someone posts a confession like that, not in anger, not in chaos, but in full self-awareness, it begs a simple but haunting question. What broke him? That's the part no one could answer. Because he didn't explain it. He didn't clarify. He just dropped the line and vanished again. No follow-up. No context. Just silence. Until a screenshot leaked, a text exchange that wasn't meant to be seen. One that didn't just confirm the pain, but revealed who was on the receiving end. Number 5, the text that ended everything. It started as a rumor, a whisper in fan forums that Justin had cut someone off. Then, like a sudden crack in the ice, it leaked. A screenshot. One short exchange. And just like that, everything shifted again. The message read, "If you don't like my anger, then don't like me." Followed by, "Quit asking me if I'm okay. You already know the answer." 2 lines. No emojis. No warmth. Just emotional exhaustion, neatly typed out and permanently frozen on someone else's phone. The recipient hasn't been confirmed. Some say it was an old friend. Others believe it was someone from his inner circle. Maybe even someone in the industry. But what matters more than who received the text is what it revealed about who sent it. Because that's not just a defensive statement. It's a door slamming shut. And it wasn't written mid-argument. The tone wasn't explosive. It was tired, controlled, like someone who'd been holding it in for a long time and finally gave up explaining themselves. That line, "Don't like me," hit fans the hardest. Because it wasn't a request to understand. It was a dare to walk away. For some, it was a red flag. They saw a man pushing people away before they could help. For others, it was the most relatable thing he'd ever said. The unfiltered voice of someone who's hit their limit. But behind the bluntness was something even darker. Why was someone asking him if he was okay, over and over again? What kept triggering the concern? And why did Justin feel so unseen by someone close enough to ask? This is where the story fractures. Some believe this is proof of an internal struggle, one that's been boiling under the surface for months, maybe longer. Others think it shows he's becoming more self-aware, that he's setting boundaries, that he's done performing vulnerability for people who treat it like entertainment. But if this was closure, it wasn't clean. Because when a celebrity begins cutting people off with messages like that, it's usually the tip of a much bigger shift. One that fans won't see until it's already taken its toll. And the real twist? This moment, raw and isolating as it was, didn't go unnoticed by the person who arguably knows him best. Because just when the dust began to settle, Hailey jumped in with a message of her own. And it changed the tone of everything. Number 6, Hailey's comment that said everything and nothing. While the internet was still dissecting Justin's every move, one comment quietly slipped into the chaos. And it came from someone fans had been waiting to hear from, Hailey Bieber. She didn't write a long caption. She didn't release a statement. All she did was post 4 words. "Father's Day sucks ass." That was it. No follow-up. No photo. No tag. Just the kind of sentence that seems casual, until you remember who wrote it and when. Because just hours earlier, Justin had called himself a dad that's not to be effed with. He had spiraled in public, confessed to feeling broken, and then cut someone off in a message that sounded like the emotional equivalent of slamming a door. So when Hailey posted her comment, right after liking Justin's story, people didn't just scroll past. They stopped. They zoomed in. They asked the question no one could ignore. Was that a show of support or a quiet cry for space? To some, it sounded like solidarity. A dark joke from someone standing beside her husband while the world picked him apart. But to others, it felt like something else. Like frustration. Like exhaustion. Like maybe she was the one who'd had enough. And let's not forget, this wasn't posted on just any day. It was posted on a holiday centered around family, legacy, stability, and if we're being honest, everything Justin and Hailey had seemed to be trying to hold on to. The tension didn't stop there. A few hours later, Hailey removed the comment. No explanation. Just gone. Like it had never existed. But screenshots, of course, live forever, and now it had taken on a new life. Was she trying to walk it back? Was it posted in a moment of honesty or regret? And here's where things get murkier. Hailey hasn't posted anything about Justin since. No anniversary photos. No behind-the-scenes cuddles. No subtle birthday tributes. For a couple once known for their overly curated, ultra-romantic content, that silence is deafening. Is this just a rough patch? A private moment made public by accident? Or is something unraveling between them, and we're only seeing the tip of it? Because if her message was meant to support him, it came with sharp edges. And if it was meant to distance herself, it was timed with uncanny precision. And now, as fans look back on the entire week, from cryptic posts to luxury distractions, public outbursts to private breakdowns, one question lingers. Was this all leading to something bigger? Or was this the fallout of something already broken? Whatever the answer is, one thing's certain. The Bieber narrative isn't just shifting, it's shaking. Something has changed, and not just online. From cryptic messages to public outbursts and Hailey's unexpected comment, the facade is cracking. But is Justin finally freeing himself from the pressure? Or silently signaling that something is wrong? This isn't the end of the story. It might be the start of the real one.